Today, in this video, we're gonna be talking with Ari from Actorio Software, a product sourcing expert that he will teach us about how you can start your Amazon business, or if you already have an Amazon business, how can you leverage to the next level. We're gonna be talking about repricing, some key tools, and how you can make advertising with BQool AI. Hello everyone, thank you for being one more time in BQool channel. My name is Christian Delgado. Today I'm with Ari, founder of Actorio. Thank you for being in one more time because we have in the Spanish channel and now we have you in English channel.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Yeah, 100%. I think we would like to share some of the differences about what type of businesses you can do on Amazon. Maybe you can share a little bit about it.
Yeah, okay. So when people think about Amazon in general, they usually think about private label, which is very quickly, I think most people are familiar with. You find your niche, you do your research, you find a product that you think will sell well on Amazon. Then you go ahead and you look for a provider, usually in China, but could be in other places, could be locally. You create your own brand. So you develop your logo, you register for your brand registry, and then you specialize in one particular type of niche, usually, or even one type of product, and then you develop that. There is a new model, well, not so new anymore, but relatively new in Europe. It's been a while in the US, which is basically online arbitrage. And the idea is you dispense with all of the process of developing a brand and developing and finding a manufacturer. Since we're in Europe, we specialize in selling to Europe. And the idea is what you do is you sell other people's brands and other people's product. Okay, so you don't own the brand, which some people think it's a downside. Soon I'll explain why I think it's actually an advantage. And the idea is you look for products that are selling in Europe, that you can buy in Europe and sell back to Amazon in Europe. So why is that a good thing? Why is it better to sell other people's brands when you don't own the brand? So there's a few advantages. First of all, it's a lot faster. You can get started much quicker. Basically, what you go to your local in Spain, it's El Corte Inglés, or in England, it would be your Argos, and you find products that you that are already selling on Amazon, and you find products that have a big price difference, hence the word arbitrage, and you arbitrage between the local retailer and further on a wholesaler. You look for products that have a good margin, that have a good volume of sales, and then you sell it on Amazon. Okay, so what are the advantages? The advantages, apart from the fact that you can do it very quickly. So if you buy it tomorrow, you can have it sold on Amazon by next week, and you can make your first buck or your first euro, maybe a few days after that. So 10 days from start to finish, you already have your first profit. So that's nice. The other thing is it's much lower risk. A private label model is a model that I like very much. I still do it. It's a very good model, but we have to recognize that the risk is relatively high. So the chances of failure is relatively high. So you can do all of your research and you can see that the niche is okay. And then something happens, and for some reason, the niche stops being profitable for whatever reason, increased competition and stuff like that. And what it means for the private labeler is that you basically may need to start from scratch. It's a very good business model. It's very profitable. The problem is that the risk is relatively high.
Yeah, the difference of these type of business are like maybe not suitable for certain type of people that maybe don't have enough resources or the community behind. But for those who actually maybe have a YouTube channel, they are influencers in TikTok or Instagram, makes more sense, right?
Makes more sense.
They kind of have that loyalty that brands actually are looking for, and they can somehow create a call to action through their community with this brand and have a special meaning for that community. In the case of people maybe still we don't have that, it's better or feasible the barrier of entry go to arbitrage, and they can invest some money, do testing in this niche, use tools like Actorio to educated guess we can say like that, in product sourcing. I don't know if you can share a little bit about this too.
You sort of alluded to, but I just want to make sure that it's clear. So in order to start with private label, you want to make sure that you have maybe $6,000, maybe $10,000 in the bank before you even start, because that's really something that without that, it's going to be very difficult. And that's something that I don't blame the people who train for that, but it's really something that we need to be honest about. Whereas with online arbitrage, you can start with basically any amount that you want. So from 100 euros up, you can already start doing that. Will you be able to scale? Will you be able to fire your boss? I love to use the term fire your boss a lot. Will you be able to fire your boss? No, but you can definitely start, and you can start gaining experience. And as you gain experience and you prove to yourself that it's something that you can be successful in, you can absolutely start from that. The thing about online arbitrage is if you start and you go through all the stages, getting Actorio, starting your 2 weeks free trial, you can already prove to yourself that you are the kind of person that can be successful. And let's be honest, not everybody is meant to be an entrepreneur. Some people are just not cut out for that. So really, you want to prove to yourself that you can be successful.
Yeah, the learning curve will be less intensive as a private label, but we have that type of customer as well, because now on BQool we have AI advertising for those who are actually doing private label. After launching the brand, the competition continues. They need to promote this product, push those products in sponsor brands and that type of placement on Amazon. So they're gonna need other type of help to manage keywords. We have a tool called AI bidding. So to do 24/7 screening and scanning of which campaigns are working and which are not. So also for private label, of course, we have something to support them, but if we are talking about people that are coming from scratch and they go to Actorio, do the product sourcing, and later they start creating their own list, jumping into listings of already existing brands that have high demand, they can use a BQool Repricer. We also have this tool that they of course gonna be really useful and necessary for them.
Many of our clients, I mean, if you go into online arbitrage, the fact that you usually, because in private label, you usually manage, if you're successful, you manage 6, 7, 8 products. In online arbitrage, you manage thousands. Yes. So if you want to grow, you have to have a repricer. You can absolutely not be successful. You cannot scale to 100,000 K a month if you do not have a repricer in online arbitrage.
I hear many influencers, they see it like a ladder to go level 1, like online arbitrage, wholesale, and then private label, but not necessarily need to be that way. I think it's just about in which position that business owner or that Amazon seller is at and what he feels more comfortable to do. Also his resources or from where he's starting, because it's not the same as we say previously, like if you're already an influencer, have, 1 million followers, private label is a good way to go, as different as someone who works 9 to 5 and they want to have an extra income and start exploring this about doing their own business and capitalizing, basically, because it's a process. It's just the start, and then start with 1, 10 listings, and then they manage thousands, as you say. That's crazy. I cannot imagine the mental effort to be in that level, because actually requires high understanding of how the market is moving as well. Yeah. What tools they could use after product sourcing, choosing the right list, the right products, like how they can let's say know if this product will have demand. What type of tool they could use?
So obviously we are Actorio, and this is a tool that you can use. You don't have to use Actorio. It will just be very, very difficult to scale without something like Actorio, because you really have to. So I can get a little bit about what Actorio does, but we index about 19 million products, almost 800 suppliers. And the idea there is really to find the needle in the haystack, because most, when economy works, economists will tell you that prices tend to equalize across the market. Yes. but not 100%, right? So you have maybe 5% of the products that are misaligned, that you have differences in prices, and that's basically what we're taking advantage of when we're doing online arbitrage. It's basically similar to financial arbitrage. You take advantage of market imperfections, what economists call market imperfections, which means difference in prices. So there's a difference in price in Spain, for instance, Corte Inglés, Sainsbury's, Argos in the UK, and the sale on Amazon. What a tool like Actorio gives you is it gives you, of course, the profit margin, but it also estimates what volume of sales you can expect. And the way we do that, we have our own secret sauce. I could tell you, but then I have to kill you, of how to guess how many products are going to sell.
Last time in the Spanish channel, you show us the Actorio panel. I don't know.
Yeah, so let's get into that. So
okay, yeah, we'd like to see it and share with the audience. You guys are in Spain, but work in all Europe. So England people also can use German, French.
Basically, this is Actorio, and I'm going to go quickly through on how we do a search. And if you are used to private label, I want to highlight a few differences. Okay, so what we do is we have the Amazon filters, which is what we're looking for a product. And usually what I look for is, first of all, I'm in Europe. I look to sell in all European marketplaces, and you should do that. If you're in Europe, then you can sell to all European marketplaces with one single VAT number. And then what I'm going to do is, and here's the main difference, right? So private label, we are always taught to concentrate on one niche. Here, since we're really doing online arbitrage and really what we're looking for is margin, we don't care about what product we're selling, really. There are certain products that I like to avoid, which I'll get into later, but in general, I don't select a category. I choose all categories. Okay. Then the unit profit I put in at €3. And this basically tells me the net unit profit per unit sold. So this is after Amazon costs, after what we pay to the provider, after everything. So this is really, really net profit. And this is something that's another advantage of online arbitrage, which we can really know that we're making money, and we can accept a lower margin in return for much higher volumes because we know exactly what our numbers are going to be. We don't know the future, but we have a much better guess on what's going to happen. Then the ROI, return on investment, I put in at 20%. The monthly profit, I'm just going to leave blank, and then I'm going to choose a supplier. So since we did Spain last time, let's do the UK, and I'm going to select, say, Argos for this example.
And I see the list is like a long list. There are many, all the suppliers.
Yeah, so we have close to 800 suppliers all over Europe.
Wow, yeah, there's a long list.
Yeah.
So even for those influencers that want or pretend to start a brand, this tool is really good because they can see how the market actually is performing currently.
Yeah, absolutely. We have people that use it in private label, although admittedly, most of the people use it for either online arbitrage or wholesaling, which is a second cousin of online arbitrage. Wholesaling basically.
Oh, yeah. Also, wholesale, we can call it like other category. Maybe you can explain a little bit about it. Meanwhile, you show us the tool.
Exactly. So we have wholesalers and retailers here. You can select whatever you want, and I'm going to select from Argos, and that's it. I mean, I can go crazy here, but really, to be honest, you don't need to. You can just use this to start out with. Okay, so I can see already there's a product here. I can see that, okay, this is a drone. This is obviously a high-end ticket. So maybe in the beginning, I don't want to go so high-end, but it really shows me what, okay, see, I'm also out of stock here, right? It shows me that I'm out of stock. Let's look for something that's in stock.
Out of stock, Argos, in this case.
Argos, yeah.
Oh, okay. Even give you the status of those providers.
Yes, absolutely. It gets updated daily for providers like Argos. And what's important is it's connected to my Amazon account. So I know that, for instance, I am not gated for this product, right? So I have a Corsair mouse. Okay, I can see that the profit margins are pretty healthy. I have a 65% profit margin, 63% profit margin, right? This is this is how much profit I get per product sold.
And that's in that particular country, because
In
I
that
see the
particular
flags.
country.
Yeah, I see different flags. So I in England or UK, I buy in Argos, and I can ship it to France or Spain, and I will get this expected.
Exactly. So this would be a typical search for somebody who lives in the UK and purchases in the UK and wants to sell in the rest of Europe. So, and this will give you, Actorio will actually give you the cost, including the cross-border fulfillment, because between the UK and the European Union, there are customs, right? So,
Yes.
so when Actorio gives you this margin, it is the real margin taking into account the fact that you are selling cross-border.
That's really useful, because people, they don't know, right? And a better understanding if this is worth it to go Argos, get the product, how much quantity they can try, and then aiming for that percentage is in green. I guess the red one is like how much it says. It's negative probably, right?
Right.
I can,
And this
yeah.
is typical in online arbitrage, right? Because there are differences between countries. So there tend to be, maybe there could be no differences. Depends. There's no rules, right? But if there's going to be less differences because the UK Amazon wants to compete with the UK Argos, then there's not going to be any profit.
Yes.
But for instance, in Germany, Spain, France, and Italy, there is profit.
Yeah, makes more sense. So what you would say was to someone that feels a little skeptical about this? It's like, oh, how am I gonna buy in Argos? I go there every other weekend, and I never imagine I can actually find opportunities here. Why you would say to someone that think this way?
Well, you don't take my word for it. Check for yourself. Obviously, go into Argos, see what it sells on Argos. Go into Amazon. So you can click. If I click on here, okay, I will be basically taken to the German website, and it will tell me how much it costs on the German website.
Wow. Okay, that's
Currently,
really
it's
useful.
unavailable. Currently, unavailable, which is great news, right? Because it means that I'll be able.
Yeah, no competitors, right?
No competitors, right? So this is very, very good news. And the other important thing is, notice that the restrictions column basically tells me that because it connects to my Amazon account, it knows my eligibility for this specific product.
This need to be like a seller Amazon account, just to clarify.
Seller Amazon account, yeah. You connect your Actorio account to your Amazon account. Actorio knows how to read your Amazon seller account and will tell you if you're eligible. Okay.
And now that's why we call gated, ungated, and
gated, ungated. Exactly.
Yes.
Gated is what.
Last time I remember you showed me a feature is really good, that some products are gated and you click something in Actorio and you can get ungated right away. Could you show us an example to show this? Because I remember this feature was really good, and in the English market, I don't remember see a tool that does that. Actually, people always have this type of question: how I get ungated? And yeah.
Okay, so so I can click here on ungated, and what this does is it tries to request to be ungated for me. I'm not going to click yet because I want to show. I always like to start with the worst case scenario. So the worst case scenario is this: the auto ungating doesn't work. So what I need to do is I need to click. Say I want to be ungated for Germany, so I need to click on here. This will take me exactly to the correct location on my Amazon Germany account, and will tell me exactly what I need to do to get ungated. Okay, so I'm going to share here, and basically what it tells me is that I basically need a combined invoice of at least 10 units from this brand. Okay, the brand is Epson brand, okay, which I need to be ungated for, and I need to check all of these, make sure that my invoice is correct.
In this case, could I use Argon invoice, or what type of invoice I need?
Yes, and in theory, any valid invoice is valid for ungating.
But need to buy 10 units. That's this in the same invoice.
Correct. Let's go back here and show what you mentioned last week. So what I can do is I can click on the ungate, and basically what this does is it tries to request, and in certain situations, Amazon simply doesn't require invoices and just flips automatically. So we always recommend pressing it. Many times it will work, other times it won't work. For instance, in Germany, it didn't work, but for Spain, it did work, probably because I have experience and this is experienced account, so it might work. But what I'm saying is, if you click on gating and it doesn't automatically get ungated, don't get discouraged. Understand that you have to do further work. You have to click on the restricted, figure out what needs to be ungated.
But the one who becomes green is ungated, and now I can sell in that market.
Exactly.
No need the 10 invoice. No need to do that process.
Exactly. Now you asked me again, how can I believe? How can I trust? So we always no. It's a very good and valid, and it's very important that people understand. The other thing that I prefer to do, and we highly recommend, is using Keepa. So we are not affiliated with Keepa. We don't get any any money from them, but we do recommend getting Keepa and figuring out cross-referencing the information that Actorio gives you to take a look at the Keepa graph and make sure that basically. Let me see. I think I need to log into my Keepa account here.
Well, if I remember well, in Keepa there are some key parameters. I guess everyone gonna see or gonna find their way to analyze. But basically, what I remember is like something really important is like if there are buy box rotation, sales volume in a range of you are aiming to, because not everyone gonna have the same volume capacity, of course. And then of course there's a price range. I don't know if it's those three parameters make sense for you, but I remember some people I talked to before, and they are really successful on Amazon. They check those parameters mostly. Probably I'm missing out one or two as well, but at least people can have a reference in the sake of this video, and then they can further study Keepa, because Keepa is a great tool. I have many functions and details, but maybe as a online arbitrage, you don't need everything. You need just the information you need to know to take the decision, jump to that listing, and actually start making money.
Correct. The thing we look on Keepa, and this is why we pay for a Keepa account, is we look at the BSR, the bestseller rank. And the reason is not to see the rank itself, but to see the drops. Because basically, if you look at a Keepa graph, let me share this tab. The green graph, which is the bestseller rank, basically we look at every drop here as being a sell, because that's how the BSR works. Every time that there's a sale, then the BSR works. Remember, I'm reminding to people who maybe are not as experienced as we are, that the sales rank of 1 is the number 1 bestseller in its category. So the lower the number, the better. And basically what Amazon does is it only cares about sales, right?
Yes.
So every time there's a sale, the BSR drops. Okay, so a lot of people, a lot of experienced sellers spend a lot of time verifying after they find the product on Actorio, verifying it on Keepa to make sure that there is enough movement here in the graphs. And for instance, here, if you take a look at Keepa, it will also tell you that for here there are 52 drops. And each drop roughly corresponds to maybe a sale. Obviously, if you have a BSR of 2,000, then you're not worried about sales. The thing is selling, right? Things that have less volume, then you really will use the BSR in order to make sure that you have sales. You can literally count the number of sales.
Yes. Also, be critical about when these movements are happening, because there's a factor of seasonality as well, like I don't know, summer or some Prime Day promotions, that type of things also like matters how the performance of selling of that specific product is moving, and people will be excited believing that all the time gonna be at that speed. Maybe that time you are lucky and you sell everything, and that doesn't mean you need to buy inventory even double quantity as the last time, not necessarily. So that need to be really thoughtful about it and really critical.
A few things that might be worth mentioning is that apart from doing this type of searches and you're finding products, by the way, obviously here Actorio will show you the total potential profit of the market, right? So this product, for instance, the total potential net profit is 2,914.50 for this specific product. And obviously, this is the total potential market value. This is not what necessarily you'll get. But if you take a look at the Amazon sellers, it will tell you how much competition you have. So for instance, if I see that here there's 3,384, I can see that here there are 8 sellers, but only one of them is FBA. And as anybody knows, if you're an FBA seller, you're always going to win against somebody who is a non-FBA seller. So here, Actorio shows you that the competition here is relatively low if you choose to sell this product, and you can divide this between the FBA sellers if they exist.
I think that's a really important factor because competitors, you can be right in the product sourcing, you can be right in the price, you can be right using Repricer, everything, but later competitors always gonna came in and will be a factor as well. So FBA have an advantage 100%, but also Amazon itself have an advantage in certain products. I don't know if when Amazon is in the listing, Actorio shows that, or how is in that part?
Yeah, so we made a conscious decision to not worry about if Amazon is in the buy box or not. Our experience is that Amazon competes fairly over the buy box. So if Amazon is one of the sellers, it will share the buy box. And this is a very interesting question because I spent a lot of time studying the situation. And so people say, why does Amazon compete fairly? Why doesn't Amazon just take the buy box for itself? So there's a few reasons. First of all, in the European Union, they would just get fined, right? If Amazon tries to monopolize, Amazon is already considered a monopoly. So if Amazon, apart from that, is going to compete unfairly with its own sellers, the European Union is going to get involved. There's already a complaint, which I think is going to get thrown out because I think Amazon do not do that. But definitely Amazon doesn't dare do that anymore, even if it wanted to. And the other thing is, it probably doesn't want to. Because remember, it makes very good money charging us, the sellers, right? It makes 30%, 35% on us. So why would it want to compete with us and not simply just charge us and not to have to, buy and sell boxes, right? So our opinion is, and it's backed by many, many years of experience, do not worry if Amazon is on the buy box. I know that there is an urban myth that you shouldn't compete with Amazon. As far as we know, that is 100% false.
Yeah, okay. And I think I hear similar in American market. I don't know how strict the government is in USA in comparison to European. I think European Union, in this case, I will give it a thumbs up because that's really thoughtful for sellers and entrepreneurs and people. Because actually, against a giant, like Amazon, there's little what you can do. But if you are guaranteed or not guaranteed, it's like there's a really history about how governance is in European Union. That's a really good news, and the people can actually go and compete against Amazon, and if they have better price and have good reviews in their own Amazon store, they can get the buy box and keep getting sales. So that's a really good news actually. This is really cool.
Yeah.
So tell me.
Yeah, no, so another thing that might be interesting to talk about was this idea of Amazon flips. And this is another thing that might be very, very interesting. And here the idea is, it's the same idea as online arbitrage, but now instead of buying from another provider, you buy from Amazon and sell to another Amazon marketplace. And this is, again,
Amazon to Amazon.
Amazon to Amazon, right? So basically what I'm going to do here is I'm going to search for Amazon in the UK. And the target marketplace, I'm just going to choose all of the marketplaces, and I simply do a search. And this is going to give me, of course, I didn't put in filters here, and I have way too many products, so I might want to put in filters in order to narrow it down a little bit. But
here it give you everything. Yeah.
Yeah, here it gives you everything. Not everything, right? Because Amazon has way too many products, but it gives you, 7 million products.
Wow. Unfiltered.
Unfiltered. So obviously, I may want to put a bit of filters, right? So ROI and
Amazon to Amazon, do you think the margin profit is lower or same? You can aim to the same profit as
question
as getting for a physical store.
It's it's more difficult to find products, obviously, but there's still a lot of products. And the advantage of Amazon is, notice that, if on the regular search we have to show the two images, one from the provider, one from Amazon, it's the same image. So you don't have to worry about it being a multi-pack or a different product, right? It's an Amazon product to an Amazon product.
So once I buy from Amazon in UK, I can repackage or just relabel it and send it to Spain.
Yeah, right. You want to sell it to somewhere in Europe, right?
Yeah, or could be in the same country. Depends.
Yeah, same country would be like like a lot of people. What they do is they buy a lot of Lego toys and stuff like that just before Christmas, save it for Christmas, and bet on the price going up. That's a little bit more risky, but I mean, people who know what they're doing know what to expect and have studied the market.
Yeah, playing with the seasonality then.
Playing with the seasonality, exactly.
The famous buy cheap, buy low, sell high.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay, that's a good tool too. This is Amazon to Amazon. Amazon Flips. It's included in the Actorio service. Is all these tools included, or what is the difference?
It's an add-on. Yeah, it's something
it's
an add-on. You can purchase additionally to that.
And how much is the membership? The monthly plan.
Okay, so let's go into. Let me just.
And basically, here is the same as we see before. The only difference is like I buy in Amazon, and I can see on my right the flags and the profit margin in those countries. Okay, we have a starter plan for 79 euros per month, and that will be feasible for or recommended for starters.
Yeah, this is people who are not
beginning
even starters, people who really are just dipping their toes in the water, are not quite sure. If it's already your business, we recommend starting with the essential, which gives you retailers and wholesalers, which the starter does not. It gives you stronger control over the filters, right? And yeah, and then if you want to add Amazon Flip, it's an add-on of another 79 euros.
Oh, okay. So in started Amazon Flip, they don't have it. They have it in essential.
No, essential. You have to additionally get the Amazon Flip, which is another 79 euros.
Okay, that's important to know too. Okay, yeah, I think it's really good to know all these tools and all the information you are sharing. Obviously, Ari have many years of experience. How you started in all this? How is your history? If you can share a little bit before we finish.
Sure. So I actually started with private label, and I was pretty successful with that. And
what do you sell in private label?
A water sports equipment, actually.
Okay. Huh? Oh, maybe I have some questions about that. Yeah,
absolutely. And then I moved over to online arbitrage, just because the thing with private label is you have a lot of downtime, right? So you're waiting for the things to arrive, the samples to arrive from China. You're waiting for the order to arrive. You're doing a lot of waiting. So and this is something I was going to mention before, which is many people who do private label complement it with online arbitrage, because of the fact that there's downtime, there's money lying around that they want to make sure that it's working. So private label and online arbitrage combine very well together, actually. So it helps you
That's interesting.
smooth out
Yeah.
the lulls in
The
the sales.
times.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you already have the warehouse somehow. You have the space, you have the knowledge, you have the account. Makes sense, actually. Yeah, that's a smart move as well. And then you starting doing online arbitrage, and how you start Actorio, because this is very tool.
Right. So basically what we did is I hooked up with my partner Marco, which is my business partner Marco. He was already heavily into online arbitrage, and we started doing it together, and we started using tactical arbitrage, actually, which is the US based software. And we very quickly found that tactical arbitrage was just not very good for the European marketplace. Now people say it's not great for the US marketplace either, but back then it was the biggest software. So we started to develop tools for ourselves, kind of like in English we say to scratch your own itch. And very quickly we discovered that we're building a piece of software that other people might be interested in. And talking to a lot of sellers in the communities, people said, oh wow, that's interesting what you're doing, could we have that too? We moved away, we started to develop the software in parallel, selling on Amazon. And then at a certain point we had so many clients, it just made sense to stop selling on Amazon and dedicate ourselves full time to developing Actorio.
No, that's a great story. Successful story. I hope inspire people to actually don't feel scared and take the little step and then learn and keep going. Eventually they might surprise where they end up. Thank you so much for being with me today, and I hope to have you next time as well.
Thank you for having me.
I hope you enjoyed this video, and remember, down below you have all the links to access free trial to Actorio software and also to BQool, either Repricer or BQool AI ads.